Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our 11th session of our Vampire the Masquerade V5 Chronicle La Terreur et la Vertu. I am very, very excited to get into the session tonight. We have quite a few things that are coming to a point, coming to a head, coming to a, nice pointy point, so to speak. Before we get into the action for this evening, we'll get our lovely players to introduce themselves to you all. Let us know who you will be playing for this evening.
Hi, my name's Adam. I'll be playing Remy Sinjin. You're currently invisible Sabat Malkavian.
I'm Jack. I will be playing Mademoiselle la Comtesse de Visage, the Camarilla Toreador, who's about to. Oh,
Hi, I'm Syrinx. I'll be playing Mayel Gadu, the city gangrel anarch of the group who is currently very ready to backstab someone.
I am very eager to see how Lucretia her way through this scene.
um,
I think that makes four of us.
That's right.
Is that really the best you could come up with? Ugh.
it means I either succeed or I fail, but no matter what happens.
Now, we set the scene precisely where we left off at the ending of our last session. You are in this sort of library-esque basement of the Paris Pantheon, a sort of grand Romanesque marble building that has been built to work as a kind of mausoleum or tomb for some of the most prestigious, celebrated figures in the history of this country. Some kings, lords, people of note from the old feudal regimes throughout France's history, and more recently, some of the most important, poignant philosophers, revolutionary figures that have helped shape the new society in this country to what it is this night. The three of you are here escorting Julien de Lyon, the Camarilla Herald, to the tomb of one Jean-Paul Marat, who was assassinated some months ago in the city of Paris, a kind of instigator, somebody who's sparked revolutionary terror, radicalism, all of that. One of Julienne's childer, one of her Nosferatu. His remains, not that much that is left of him, are buried here in the basement beneath the Pantheon. And you have brought her down here so she may mourn and also collect some of the documents that may prove problematic to upholding the Masquerade. Things that he had written back in the day when he was still alive and never quite got around to publishing. She carries those documents now with her after you've given them to her. And at the sounds of screaming from above, the three of you have been on high alert. And as we left off at the end of last session, coming briskly down the stairs into this basement, one way in, one way out, this basement, is Louis-Antoine de Saint-Just with blood, viscera, piece of bone on his shoulder, covering his entire body. A just explanation for the screams that you heard not a minute before. He sort of almost tentatively, politely dabs at his face, sort of in a mockery of the way that he looks currently. Blood smeared across that high cravat that he wears. It sort of, makes his neck staunch and upright at all times. When he comes down into the room, he stops on the top stair. one of his feet sort of tapping against the ground as he notices you, Lucretia, and Julien sort of standing close by each other, close to Marat's tomb, not too far away from him, sort of just across the room. I'm going to ask you for a brief moment, the three of you, starting with you, Remy, what goes through your head in this moment? Do you do anything? What is your thought process here and now?
Remy was expecting this after walking up and seeing the shadows flickering to the sides. That's part of why he's activated Cloak of Shadows now. He's got faith in Lucretia and Julien as far as their ability to face this, and is also very comforted by Maëlle being nearby, whether or not he can see her. So at the moment, he's sort of sitting in this place of like taut suspense, and I think he's actually like almost involuntarily smiling, just like waiting for the moment to come. There's going to be a cascade of entrances and choices, and he's just like, it's now. Curtains.
Lucretia.
She has all of her strings ready for any situation to be solved, to pull herself away. Her thread attached to Julienne, she could offer her as the herald. She has all of these different things that she can use to offset. She is problem solving right now. She needs to get out of here because the one thing that she knows most about Saint-Just is that his belief in justice is absolute and unwavering. She remembers his thumbs going into those two men at the first time they met, but she also recalls that every time they've interacted, she has kept up the same narrative with him. So she's problem solving because she's like above herself. She's not in this situation. She's dealing with how to take down Robespierre, and to do that, she needs to not be in a room with him.
And Maëlle.
I'm mostly agitated at his presence right now. Maybe that's also because I'm partly irritated at myself for not yet being full strength, with my arm still being a little dangly. I kind of like a light curse going through my head of, fuck, you're serious, he's also gonna show up tonight. Like, but then again, as she can only see Julienne and Lucretia in the room, there's some kind of satisfaction as Saint-Just just walks past her. And she's like at his back. She's like, it kind of gives a bit of reassurance of like, he didn't notice me. He didn't like act like he could notice me, and he just walked past, so I'm at his back right now. And a thought going through a head of, okay, Lucretia, if you're so good at social manipulation, this is your moment to shine. You better work your ass out of this, because if not, I will come to save you and I will push it in your face that I did. So a bit of anticipation, and I think even a bit more like relaxed, like lean against a wall or something when he passed, and when she's just like, I'm gonna watch the show, man.
Great. As he kind of stops on the bottom stair, Lucretia, it's almost like he's a deer in the headlights for a moment as he stops, his foot tapping, as he eyes you, Julienne, back to you again.
I'll try to do entrancement. Just in the moment that he goes up, I will be like, not like last time where I waited too long, but now.
Yeah, for sure. I will get you to rouse for it for flavor purposes.
Yep. I succeed on that.
Great. And
It is
Yes.
composure and wits from him.
thank you. I will roll that.
And charisma.
He does
Presence
not
from me.
have any hunger dice. And he also has Unswayable Mind.
Wow.
That's a naughty La Sombra.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's been creeping.
Yeah.
Rouse.
Mm-hmm.
Was I can do this?
Spent.
All right. Well worth it.
Mm-hmm. Fuck. Oh god. I rolled 3 crits. How many successes did you get?
Whoa! I got 7 with a crit.
3 crits and 3 more successes is 15. So
Damn. All right.
I spent a willpower. I rolled 3 dice and they were all
Okay.
10s.
Did you hear that, guys? He's already burning through one of his willpower.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I've made a note.
Yeah. It's like a wave on a rock.
Mhm.
And you kind of feel your presence go to meet him in a way that it did earlier, the other night when
Yeah.
you met with him. That you see it sort of hit him and then rush upwards almost, as though it doesn't quite, penetrate in the way that you wanted to. In this moment, you become aware, I would say, that perhaps, given your previous interactions, given the trajectory of your week, the way that you've acted, the things that you've done, the moves that you've made, that... And you see it in his eyes as well, in this kind of resolution that seems to settle in between you and Julien, that he has a job to do.
Yeah.
You know exactly who's given him this job.
Yeah.
And you know that based on who he is, what he's like, that he is going to do everything
Absolutely
in his
of
power
course.
to do this. Just
Yep.
do it as quickly as possible. I'm going to get you now, Lucretia, to make a dexterity performance roll for me.
Can I activate fleetness?
Yeah, why not?
How's that? Safe fail.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. Can I add my fleetness to this?
Yep. Add your 5 dots of celerity. I'll say that you activated it sort of in the lead up to this.
She does it like instinctually almost
Yeah.
all the time when she's
Yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Dexterity performance. You said.
That's correct, because you can use performance as a substitute for athletics, as
Yeah.
you kind
Does
of
this involve
dance out of the way,
Yeah.
more so than it won't involve dancing in this case. It'll just be without the specialty because it is a combat situation.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. That was the shittest roll of so many dice. There's 6 successes.
Okay. With 6 successes, you don't take any damage from this, but
Thank God.
you see sort of just at the last second that the tapping of his foot on the bottom stair stops just for a split second, and I believe you still have heightened senses active.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You probably hear it before you actually see it, as you probably focus more on his face than what his body is doing. But it stops, and there is an eerie silence just for a moment before he sort of plants his foot on the step above and kicks off and plummets towards you at a speed which you can perceive because of your fleetness. Your celerity is just so impossibly high. but he barrels into you just so much that he actually knocks you down. You don't take any damage from this as you like fall quite ungracefully. As you
She screams loud as hell.
Yep. To the ground, and he knocks Julien to the ground as well. Before you. Remy and
Cool.
Mael, is there anything you would like to do here?
For the moment, no. I still want to see if they can
Same.
make their way out of this. So I'll just step a little bit closer to the door, like the doorway itself, because Saint just now also walked into it. But I'll stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless inspired, I would say Remy probably intends to be the last entrance to this little show.
Yeah, for sure. Walks on stage at the most opportune moment, so to speak. Yeah. I understand. So what happens now is that he looks down at you. He sort of stops right above you, Lucretia, and he just shakes his head and says, after all this, after I let you go, Praxis.
I'm going to probably instinctually, her blood's just doing what it needs to do, will activate Daunt.
You do not get a chance to do that because you are
Okay.
so shell-shocked by this. Him
Okay.
barreling into you. The way that this ability works is you lose your next action. But I'll let you say something here if you want.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Mhm.
I think she. So he said, after all of this, after I let you go, Praxis. I think she just says, I'm just the messenger. I just made the announcement.
He is going to try and stomp on your shoulder. You can.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Can I leave the room with blink or something?
You can only dodge here.
Okay, what does that mean?
It'll be dexterity performance for you.
Okay.
Just throwing Julian under the bus.
Hey, I haven't said anything.
Julian
The
doesn't know
minute I
anything
say
either.
she's the herald, that's a difference.
Yeah.
Okay. That's 8 successes.
Mm-hmm. I've got 9. So you're just going to take 1 superficial damage from this. As his boot sort of comes up and you're still sort of like dazed by being on the ground, pushed so ungracefully down. This goes against every fiber of your being. It's so unnecessarily brutal in the way that it's played out. And he slams his foot down on you, pinning you to the ground, dealing you a little bit of damage, not too much, and says, messengers aren't exempt. After that lovely conversation that we had the other night, I trusted my sect mate to think that you were on side.
Why didn't you come to the Elysium?
Who says
I
I
had
didn't come?
so wanted to see you there.
You just didn't look hard enough.
You should have shown yourself. You would have been welcome. I am here to mourn Marat. Oh God, put those down.
He gives you a sort of sad smile. You think You get the
Okay.
right to mourn him after everything that your people, Francine's people, have done to this. Well, what you've tried to do.
What is he referencing? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he's referencing the Corday's assassination of Marat, and also
Got it.
just
The
your
general.
actions
Yeah.
in the Camarilla over
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
past couple of days.
Yeah. Is it not my place as a divine being to make my own choices for liberty?
You can fight for your
She
Your-
immediately says, "Our."
your right to make your own choices in front of the Revolutionary Tribunal, Madame de Visage. I have a job to do. You are the job. I thought I'd have to chase you around Paris, but it seems like you've come here. Easy enough for me. And he's going to try and do something.
I want to leave the room. I want to blink.
You wanna
My
try to
goal is
blink?
to leave the room.
You want to leave? Okay.
Whether that is traversal, whether that is blink, I would very much like to move rapidly.
How would you like to do this?
So his foot is on my shoulder.
Yep.
Ground. I think she would. It would be very just acrobatic, like a move of like
Okay.
her other hand to the back of his knee, like a push and a spin so that she literally slid across the ground, then probably hit the stairs still lying on the ground and
Yeah.
just like traverse up the inside of the stairway.
Okay. So first I'm going to get you to make... It's going to be dexterity performance to try and shimmy out from under him. And then I'll get you to do a traversal roll, which is... And you'll be rolling against his strength and athletics.
Five on the dex performance.
Yep.
Is that I can't get
It's not going to be enough.
okay. I will rouse.
Yeah, I'm looking for 8.
Okay. Okay, that's 7.
Yep.
Let me spend a willpower. I get to reroll 2 of these. Okay, that's 9.
9. Okay. You
Oh,
managed
the
to
willpower.
shimmy out of his grasp. It's a sort of it's quite a prolonged struggle. Mael, you sort of see them like staring at each other, struggling against each other. Lucretia sort of splayed out on the ground, him over the top of her, looming over the top of her. And eventually she sort of is able to kind of bring herself up enough to get free. And then traversal is a rouse check.
Right, yep. Successful rouse.
Make the roll.
And then I make a dex and athletics.
Yep.
Which I get to replace athletics with performance.
Yeah, I would act, but I imagine that at least this scene is far too quick for me to perceive.
This all happens in a very short amount of time. But I say after Lucretia sort of gets out and jumps out of the way, that is when you'll sort of perceive her coming like very close to you, probably appearing right by you after this split moment.
I'm using another willpower. 9 with a messy crit.
Ooh,
which makes
Nice.
a lot of sense because she
Do you
is
want your plan compulsion?
absolutely.
Yeah.
She is once again displayed with the
Mm-hmm.
embodiment of justice,
Yeah.
of which is being used against her. And even though his foot was on her shoulder and she was like trying to debate with him, she's so excited
Mm-hmm.
that she gets to be his full attention.
Yep.
But she is also terrified that she is his full attention.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
So her beast is just like, this is it. This is the clashing of beliefs. Who will
Mm-hmm.
survive it?
Yep.
But at the exact same moment, her like internal struggle is, I don't have one to stand up for. I need to leave. It's just survive. I
Yeah.
have to go.
I'll say that you appear close to where Mael is obfuscated, probably a little bit up the stairs from her, a little bit further
Okay.
away. But as you do that, you feel this kind of bestial pull within you.
Mm.
How can you
Mhm.
leave such a pure, uncorrupted manifestation of belief when it is on full display right in front of you? The devotion, the dedication, this mindless purity by which he follows, strives, acts for the set of beliefs by
And
which
his
he follows.
particular words of, I have a job, you are the job, are just
Yeah, that's right. You know that he wants to be close to you in a destructive way, of course, but it is closeness all the same, and that creates this kind of conflict between
yes,
rationality and the beast
the
in this
beast.
moment. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Um, Remy and Mael, Lucretia, you probably don't see this as you're a little bit
Not at
far up the
all.
stairs now,
Why?
but you see Julien sort of rush towards him for a moment. The spark in her eyes unwavering, having watched Lucretia just do that, stand up to him in this way. But as she is about to reach him, it's like she falls through the ground. Kind of just dips into a puddle of blackness, which, as she falls, kind of scoops up and dissipates into nothing. And a split second later, she re-emerges from the ground, but this time sort of right in front of him, where his shadow casts a long, kind of deformed entity in front of him that reaches all the way across the room to where that desk and the candle that is just burnt out is sort of stands in the far corner. And he grabs her by the head as she kind of emerges from this puddle disorientated and slams it into the ground. You hear a sickening crunch. Lucretia, you would hear this as well, not see what it's from. And Julien, for a moment, stays put on the ground. Mael, Remy, what would you like to do?
Don't say it with such a sweet face. Lucretia, you'll hear a whisper. And it'll be Mael whispering. Do you want help? Just nod.
Oh,
Yeah, I
my
know. Yeah, I know.
God.
I know. I was doubting between do you want or do you need help, but I was like, no, no, no.
Um, I think she just holds her finger up like a weight.
That's all I do for the moment.
What's the weather like? Is the moon out?
It would be clear night in Paris tonight. Stars muted by the lights of the city, but the moon shining, casting shadows on the buildings, everything like this.
Yeah. I think she just does that and then like gestures vaguely towards a nearby light, whatever it may be. But that's
Remy, what would you like to do here? Anything?
Not
I
move.
I believe that I can see Mael
Yes, you
possibly
can.
from earlier.
Yeah, from earlier.
So I'm gonna take my cue from at least that. I don't know if I can. I probably can't hear her whispers, but I can see the acknowledgement and the wait signal.
Yep.
So
Yeah, from where you are,
that is
absolutely.
that is what I will do, and I'll just, if being still, I can look at Julienne and tell if she seems to be like torpid.
Not torpid, but
Okay.
in a bad way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is noted. I will
Yep.
be still and wait for Lucretia's move.
Mm-hmm. Slowly, you can hear him start to come towards you from within the room, Lucretia. Mayel, you can hear
Okay.
this too.
She's going to more slowly just back away. She's just trying to get to other sources of light, essentially. But she's backing away slowly. But she is facing the stairs, so she's walking backwards, like the click of heels, much like his own.
Mm.
I think, yeah, she'll ask, like, why me, monsieur? I am no one. I merely gave an announcement. The messengers, as you said, are not exempt. But why this the first move? Why not go for someone more important?
Like who? Who's more important than you?
Whose praxis was just called? Not mine. I also know where the sheriff is. I know things.
Do you believe your prince, your sheriff, truly to be more important than you, Madame de Visage? I saw the way you moved around that room last night. Saw the way you whispered in people's ears. Saw the way you spoke to one of our young packs who were there. Enticed them with treachery.
And what else is a woman to do these nights? The last one to speak up was killed. So I did what women do. And I was in the crowd, serving as a pretty face.
The last
If
one.
you drew more meaning from my words than what was said, then perhaps the fault lies within.
Are you saying that I am at fault?
No.
Then
I am
who
simply
is?
flattered that you would think me capable of manipulation as such. I was at a party, entertaining guests.
Do you let him get closer to you?
She is continuously backing up during this conversation.
Okay. Make a composure resolve check, please.
Ay, caramba. All right. That is 3 successes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As you are backing up, looking at him.
I'm trying to keep sources of light near me.
Yeah. The shadow exudes from him. You notice a split second too late as you've gone from this fast environment where you are having blows at each other extraordinarily quickly to one that almost seems like it's happening in slow motion, especially for you.
Yeah.
And as you are transfixed obsessed
Mhm.
by him, his face, his words especially. You fail to notice the sort of dark extension of his shadow that sort of branches out, takes on a mind of its own, wraps around you, starts to squeeze. How many successes did you say you had?
3.
Okay, take 4 superficial damage as it starts to
Ow.
kind of rip into you. It sort of almost saps away at your will, but in a physical sense, as though you feel your
Mhm.
energy kind of seeping out of you, becoming less and less kind of awake, almost as though you want to sleep or just stop or just give in or just let whatever resonance, whatever obsession sort of flock out of you. But the beast is very present in your mind at the moment and doesn't let this happen. He stays right where he is and says, even though a lot of people may underestimate you, Lucretia, I'm going to brook you no such insult.
I think there's her obsession with him and that like draining probably like breaks down a little bit of like a personal barrier within herself as
Mm-hmm.
well. Like her inhibitions drop slightly. Um, and her obsession with his form of justice intermingles with her own past. And I think she randomly, it seems random at first, she blurts out Marie Antoinette and and oh my god, Charlotte, 2 women famous in the revolution, killed.
Justly so, am I correct?
There are no women within your church, and I can see why you would want to kill me instead of the men that I have offered you. Your justice is not pure, and I judge it so as your superior. And can I move?
I'm gonna help you there as well, though.
Yeah, can I lightning strike? That's my concern.
um, I'm going to pause before you do
That's
so.
mine.
That was epic.
Thunder and lightning, let's go!
Remy, is there anything you'd like to do?
Are they out of
They are. They're
sight
in
of the room?
they're upstairs at this point, in the sort of main marble hall area. Still inside,
I
but
would imagine
upstairs.
that Mael followed them up the stairs, like behind Cinchus. So if Remy would, like, he could just follow behind Mael.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Remy's idea would be to make sure that in that corridor, Mahel is always between him and them. And
Yeah.
then, but first, I think he would just lightly as you please sort of take a few steps closer to Julienne to see if she is conscious, if she is able to get up and move. Because if she is, he might assist her in doing so. But if not, he'll leave her be and creep slowly behind.
She's not
And also, don't want to be the bad guy, but if you move and you creep up, you're not invisible.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's why I asked if
Yeah.
they were out of vision. So at this point, he's more concerned with just like making sure that she definitely can't get up anymore, and then we'll wait until you're well advanced, and then slowly make his way up those stairs.
Yep, no worries. Julienne isn't conscious. There is a huge crack in her skull that is sort of already kind of disfigured and slightly off kilter due to her bane, but there is blood sort of seeping from a large wound in her head where her head has made contact with the hard floor. Small moans escape her every now and again, but she is kind of between consciousness and unconsciousness, I'll say, in this moment.
And I think Remy will just kind of like just place a hand lightly on her shoulder and then get up and then very slowly make his way towards the base of those stairs. And his goal is never to be within sight line of
Mhm.
Senjus at the moment,
Great.
but if things transpire up ahead, he might come onto the scene then.
Yeah, great. No worries. I will keep that in mind. Mayel, I'm going to ask you what you're doing here as well.
Not getting physical yet, but I was
Yeah.
waiting until Lucretia said the entire specific, like, beautiful words for me to again extinguish fight day on him. So that
Yeah.
it again feels like he is riling up, but he doesn't know
Again.
why.
Mhm.
So I'll remain invisible behind him, but I'll like to rouse and try extinguish fight day on him.
Yeah,
He
certainly.
has to see the patterns for me.
It's
My
Lucretia.
compulsion
It's
activates, his
Lucretia.
blood dries out. We're meant to be.
Meant to be, indeed.
Make a rouse check, and
Yeah,
it
I'll
is
rouse for that.
intelligence plus blood sorcery.
Yep,
Plus
I succeed on a rouse, so I'm still at hunger 0.
Great.
Intelligence and blood sorcery.
Yes. This particular resistance roll isn't as good for him, so it's probably not going to be good.
I have 3 successes.
3 successes. You beat him by 1.
It can be done.
A similar reaction to the last time it happens. He sort of snaps up at the moment when Lucretia finishes speaking. You sort of time it as though you are some kind of a virtuoso in this moment. As soon as you finish Lucretia and I guess start to rush at him, he snaps up, confused for a moment. His confusion sits on his face for a second, transforms into wrath, directed towards Lucretia because he thinks that she is the one that's done this, not you. Lucretia, what would you like to do?
The instant that his face goes into shock, she points and she says, "And you know it."
Are you doing anything here? Are you acting?
I'd love to lightning strike this motherfucker.
Okay.
She then says, "And you know it," and then in her other hand from behind her back pulls her fan out and will just come at him. Also, I'd like to heal.
Yes, make a rouse check to heal. And
Because the second he touches me, I'm in total.
yes.
It's a success.
You heal 2 superficial with your blood potency. And make a dexterity melee roll, I suppose.
Weehoo.
Hee hee. He can't do anything because lightning strike.
Let's go. Right. I'm gonna go all out and do rouse. These fun boy. And when I will also spend a willpower because I just gave the biggest speech of my life. 8 successes.
This is fun. With 8 successes, as the fan hits his body, it smashes into
Ooh.
4 or 5 pieces, as it just completely shatters upon hitting his body. It's almost like it's made of stone or marble or something like this. But as it does, and as these sort of blades kind of splinter into sort of fibers almost as it hits him, some of them get lodged in his body, adding to this, like, you know, kind of abstract array of viscera that covers his form in this moment. You know, some like etched into his face, his cheeks, things like that. He spits out some blood on the side of the this sort of
She was
pristine
going
marble
for
floor.
his neck. She was trying to rip
Oh,
the
yeah.
clothes around his
Mhm.
neck. The symbol of his staunch
Yeah.
justice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd probably do that, some of the fibers. Not as effectively as you probably
Yeah.
wanted. He
Yeah.
takes a little bit of damage from this.
You better.
Yeah, just a little bit. But shatter is a thing.
Yes.
And he spits out on the ground, and he sort of narrows his eyes at you and says, "You think I care about that? You think we care about that? Ascension, heightened beings, supreme beings. It matters not."
As she does that, her beast is still like obsessed with him, but it's equally as much the sense of justice that they are wrestling between both herself and him.
Mm.
Yeah, I think she'll get a quip in. As she slashes him, she will just I am surprised that you could even sense any difference amongst the loins of Robespierre.
He smirks, actually, and says,
Oh,
"This is what distinguishes me from you, Lucretia.
my inferior.
I stick by my beliefs, thick or thin. You soiree from place to place, sect to sect, master to master, always working in their shadows. It's quite sad. You were so much more before. And
Seem quick to bicker now that your justice has been unraveled.
unraveled. I think it's, at the very least, now justified. I'm more clear than I've ever been before. And he's going
She
to
will finish with
grow-
entertaining,
Mhm.
is all she'll say.
He's going to go and grab you again.
Cool, I don't want that. I would
Mhm.
like to do something to not do that, whether it be Blink, because Blink lets me get away from people quickly.
Yeah. Make
Because
a
if I
rouse
can
check.
do hit and run tactics of like Blink Lightning Strike, that's the goal.
Yep. To try and get away from him. Just remember, if you use a discipline here to dodge, you won't be able to use one on your turn.
Oh. I think getting away is
Yep.
so I think get a little
Certainly.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I do succeed. I don't know if I roll anything. Not by the looks of it.
I'm going to get you to roll dexterity athletics, as it says to do so.
That's already
Yep.
yes.
At this point, Mayel, I'm going to ask what you do as well.
Help sister.
Well, technically, Lucretia hasn't given a sign that she
Oh.
wants hope yet.
I can give one very quickly if it needs.
Gonna
I mean,
hold up a
otherwise I
Wile E.
can
Coyote sign.
extinguish his vitae
Yeah.
again.
Help!
Extinguishes Vitae again.
Yeah, I'll give some like when it breaks, her hand will give just like an inviting
Mm-hmm.
come hither motion. Do I add anything to this because of Blink?
No. I'll say you can add your fleetness to it. Because you've got it active for the scene. I think that would make sense. Why not? I
Guess
just
it's
need
more
to
of a
check
Roadrunner
how
sign
this
then.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
11 with the crit.
Nice. I got 12. Can you do anything?
I can. I will, considering the scenario, rouse instead of using willpower.
Mm-hmm.
Understandably, she gets more hungrier.
This is the big XP fight that I want.
Yeah. That bumps it to 13.
Nice. He reaches out, touches the sort of plainer dress that you are wearing tonight, grasps at the fabric for a split moment, but the silken way that it is slips through his fingers. He snarls, looks back at you, doesn't quite focus on you until you stop moving, as you are that
Yeah.
quick.
Mhm. Her other fan up to her face and she says, seems your grasp on the situation is not as clear as you had hoped.
Remy, what would you like to do?
I am still playing Caboose, following Mael, and I think if a situation arises in which both of them are tangled up with him, Remy might consider coming onto the scene, but I think he's waiting to take his cue from Mael.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that happens. No
Mhm.
worries.
Yeah.
I would very much like to activate feral weapons, so I'll rouse check for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will run to jump on top of his back.
Ooh.
Thing is, I'm still unseen. So
When you
he
jump on
technically
him,
won't be able he technically won't be able to see me until I'm actually on top of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'll rouse check for the
Yeah.
feral weapons.
Absolutely.
Another success.
Great. You remain completely in control of your beast, which is quite fitting, I think, for you. And I guess make a strength athletics roll to sort of jump onto him.
Yeah.
And you are obfuscated, so it will be much easier for you to do so.
And with 6 and a critical, I think I'll manage to latch on.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Would you like to just latch on or sort of jump at him and try to attack him at the same time?
My intention,
Mm-hmm.
as you may know, is to jump on top of his back
Mm-hmm.
and with my claws try to poke out his eyes like he did to the guards all the way back then.
Ooh, okay. That'll be a separate roll, which
Yeah.
we'll make in a moment.
Yeah.
Great. In that case, Lucretia, what would you like to do?
So I use blink, so I won't be able
Wait.
to do. Oh,
Shit. I want to say something cool still.
Yeah,
yeah,
if I'm
yeah,
on
of
his back.
course.
whip it up, whip it up.
He grunts
When I'm
as you
on
land.
top of his when I'm on his back, I just whisper in his ear right before I try to poke out his eyes. I say like, "How does the beast feel now?" And then I'll
Oh.
and now you can go, Lucretia.
Because I can still technically. Oh, I'm gonna heal.
Yeah.
Far out. I'm gonna heal. Ooh, my sister in Christ is at 5 hunger. But I am.
There's a lot of blood around. That's good to know.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She has her fan up to conceal that her like fangs are out, and she has this kind of delirious looking. Her focus has gone from like, yes, a conversational back and forth to very quickly, she's just the beast essentially. Actually, my other fan like fractured into
Yep.
pieces, right?
That's right.
As a weaponsmith herself,
Yep.
I'm going to have her like move very quickly with her fleetness, pick up the shards and throw them at him.
Okay. Interesting. I like that.
Or kick one really quickly, like do this really flamboyant move, but she's going to slam a shard into him using her understanding of weaponsmithing.
No worries. That'll be dexterity melee as well. But
Cool.
because it's a combat roll, don't add your fleetness this time.
Yeah.
And Mael, as you land on him, you become visible. You go for his eyes. At the same time, he is going to try and grab you by the neck and like bring you around to the front of him forcefully. So it's going to be contested strength brawl rolls from both of you.
Yeah, sure. I'll rouse for that as well.
Yeah, sure.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm gonna rouse
I want
for
a
it
big
too.
dice pool.
Doesn't really do much at 500.
No.
But if he has to split his pool between us, all
Mm-hmm.
the better.
He does, actually. That is a good point.
So strength and
Strength and brawl. To try
Yeah.
and go for his eyes. I need to split this dice pool in half. There is a lot of dice.
I think he can afford it.
This one is for Lucretia. He's giving more dice to Lucretia because he's pissed at her.
Good.
Okay, he's going to spend willpower on this one. And
I spend a willpower as well just to
Yep.
make it even better. And
I can't spend all. The whole pool is hunger.
this is going to be interesting.
yeah.
I again succeeded my rouse check.
Yep.
Um,
Nice.
so that is wonderful.
Uh-huh.
And I have, with the willpower, 14 successes, a critical.
You're still
and
on
I
hunger
got
0, aren't
3.
you?
So...
I am still on hunger 0. It's not a messy critical, it's just a critical.
Mm-hmm. No worries. So he succeeded on all the dice in your pool, which still isn't enough. He got a crit as well. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you said you got 14.
14.
And with throw weapons, that is unhalved superficial damage
Plus,
as well.
and it is, apparently I have a +2 modifier when I hit him with brawl as well. So
Oh.
it's to my damage. Yeah, I checked the source book and it says the vampire adds a +2 modifier to their brawl
that's a feral
damage.
weapons thing. Yep.
Yeah,
So
they're
it's even
basically
more
like your
damage.
melee weapon, kind of. Yeah,
Ooh, that was
Yeah.
a very big blow for him.
Yeah.
love to see it.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
DPS.
Mhm.
DPS.
Gangrel
So I
stuff.
Yeah, so I keep latching onto his back
Mhm.
and I just jam my claws into his face.
Yeah. At this point, I'll say he manages
I
to
only got 3 successes.
only got 3 successes. Oh, okay. This is going to be a big blow for you too, Lucretia.
Oh, he's thrown it back at me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
He's moving towards you. He's trying to
Oh.
grab both of you, which is why his dice pool is split currently.
Oh.
He's
I
trying to
think
take you on both at the same time. He doesn't quite manage to grab you, Mael, and you reach around. You get one of his eyes, and latch these lengthened talons that you've got into it, and probably like pull the whole thing out. Like extraordinarily visceral, creates a hole in the socket in his skull. He lets out a yell of pain, of shock, because this has all happened extraordinarily quickly. And you latch onto him. He can't quite grab you, as I said. And Lucretia, you said you got 3 successes?
Yeah, to kick pieces of metal at him.
To kick pieces of
I
metal.
was under the assumption that I was further away from him.
Ah, okay, right.
If I had assumed that we had like a room's distance between us.
Okay.
That I think I may have got my blink mixed up with in my own planning. If he
Yeah.
is closer.
Just remember that the shards have fallen like very close to his body, like from his body.
Oh, I thought they
Yeah.
went everywhere. Okay. Oh God. Is it too late to change what I did then?
What would you like to do instead?
If he's that close,
Yeah.
I think I would just want to get further away from him.
Oh, okay.
She's just trying not to be touched.
Okay.
Essentially.
What did you roll? Dexterity melee? Change it to a dex performance roll instead. And he's going to try and... Oh, you're already far away, aren't you? In that case?
I thought I was.
If you're already far away, then you won't have to roll for it if you don't want. But in that case,
Yeah, because if
Mael-
he's just defending, he can just
Yeah. In that case, Mael, he gets to put the rest of his dice pool towards you, so it's going to be different as well.
God.
I will...
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's fine. I'm going to re-roll these.
The old mental image don't exist, doesn't it?
No, that's fine. That's fine. We will get around it. Great. And I'm going to. So it may not be as
Sorry,
effective
Mael.
as it was before, but it'll still be effective. You got 14 successes regardless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You only deal 1 superficial damage to him instead.
Plus the 2.
Plus the 2.
So it's 2 extra.
Yeah,
So that's 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, worries. So that's still. Sorry. Great. In that case, I'll modify the description slightly. You don't quite rip his eye out, as it's not as much damage, but a streak of like blood and viscera comes from his eye, like across his face, blinding him essentially, but it doesn't quite rip out. You only get one of them as well, so you can still see from the other. He's just probably struggling to do so in the one that you managed to snag. As you sort of reach around, he tries feebly to grab you, and he doesn't quite do so. Remy,
And I have a plan. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and go to Remy.
Yeah. Remy, what would you like to do?
It's time to enter
Yeah.
stage right, I think. Seeing Mael make the leap and Lucretia dash away, Remy is going to walk straight past the two of them and turn around and be right in front of Sanjusta's eye that can see.
I was wondering when you would get here.
Yeah. And just going to look at him and use compel to say, tear out your own throat.
Nice. Charisma dominate, please.
Yes.
And he will make roll to resist.
I'm going to be rousing.
Go big. Go big.
And that's a fail, so I'm hungry. I am now at 2 hunger, I believe. I'll take those dice.
One of those tee-hee ha-ha moments.
Right? How unswayable is that mind of yours?
Pretty unswayable, I'm going to be honest with you.
We'll be spending a willpower.
Do it.
Oh, that's well spent. Okay.
I'm looking for 12.
12, you're probably not going to get. That's quite good. Okay, but let's see. That is. Nope, I got 10, even with the willpower reroll. Alas and alack.
Yeah. He just looks down, looks up, and says, "My, that is very, very unfortunate." And will try splitting his dice pool again, grab you by the throat, grab Mael again, and attempt to do so.
If things are happening kind of simultaneously,
absolutely.
I would love to say the words, "You should do what your superiors tell you." And I, wait, hold on. If you do not have the will to do it yourself, then I will. And I'm going to try and lightning strike and rip his throat out with my fan.
Great. This will be a very big amalgamation of things.
Yes.
Dexterity melee from Lucretia.
I'll rouse for lightning strike too. Can I rouse at 5 hunger?
No, you cannot. You don't have any blood in your system. And I'm going to get you to make a hunger frenzy roll as well. Because this is a lot of blood you are getting very close to in your current state. The difficulty is 4 at 5 hunger. Remy and Mael, how would you like to respond to what he's about to do?
Well, he's trying to grab me, right?
Yes, he certainly is.
You know, I'm gonna step out of the way. That's what I've got.
Yeah.
Wow, solid plan.
I've used my discipline already.
I, however, have not, and my plan was to jump from his back and vanish.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
That was my plan, to jump off, vanish, and then I can attack him again without him seeing
That's
me.
really cool.
We love it.
Mhm.
How do you resist frenzy?
You need to.
You give in.
That's right. The only way you can do so is to spend a willpower, reroll 3 dice, but you have 1 less in your dice pool to reroll.
What's the dice pool?
It is
remaining
your remaining
willpower.
willpower
And a third of your humanity.
and a third of your humanity. That's right.
Okay, cool.
But you'll have, if you spend a willpower and reroll 3, you'll have 1 less dice to roll because you're spending your remaining willpower. If that.
Yeah,
makes
no, that's fine. I
sense.
just completely forgot what pool.
Yeah.
Please tell me what I need to roll in what sequence as well.
Okay. You, Mael, will roll. You will roll. I'm gonna say. It's gonna be Dex Athletics to jump from him, and then just a rouse check if you succeed to vanish. But that remains to be seen.
All right.
Yeah.
So I take it, having just roused to do the discipline on that thing, I can't rouse on this roll to evade, right?
Well, because this is happening before your next turn, you can. Just on your next actual turn, you won't be able to use any disciplines, if that makes sense. So you can choose to do it now or later.
I shall not. I'm gonna take a punch.
Yeah, why not?
I fail my frenzy thing. And so instead of using my fang, can I just try and bite his throat?
That's what will happen.
Nom, nom.
Yeehaw! So now I roll Dex melee.
It is a strength brawl roll for a bite.
Can it not be that?
It always is, my friend.
Gonna use dance.
I got a mighty 2 successes on my 2 dice for Dex Athletics.
Well, that's good.
No small parts, only small actors.
The difference is shocking, I will tell you. I spent some willpower and I have a 10 critical to get out of the way.
Critical. Nice. Is there any chance you can get one more? He has double crit on this roll against you.
Honestly, I don't think there is.
Yep, that's fair. He's rolling a lot of dice. He's got 11
Also,
successes.
my strength brawl was
1.
1.
I see.
The highest number I could possibly.
Yes. You
One.
go for the attack with the fan. But as you get closer, Remy and Mael, you sort of see the beast come forward finally, almost in Lucretia's eyes, and fangs come out. And her, poised Camarilla, normal Lucretia sort of drops away and the visage dissipates, so to speak. And what remains is something quite different, but at the same, entirely more pure. She tries to go for Saint-Just's throat, misses, but is sort of intent, probably starts grabbing at the pieces of viscera that sort of dropping off him or something of this nature.
Depending on how fast I'm going, on that miss, can I just go scattering along the floor? Just
Yeah.
like skate off. Like she probably comes in, he just like bats her aside or something, and she just like slides across the floor.
Yeah, sort of just like hits you as he brings his arm around to grab Remy and grab Mael, hoisting her, and so they're together, slamming their heads together. Remy, 1 success, you said?
2.
Sorry, my apologies. 100% increase.
Wow.
You are going to take 7 superficial damage.
Okay.
From that. Mael, you're only going to take 1 as you're a lot hardier.
Is that a halved for Remy?
It is halved.
Oh.
My
Wow.
sweet summer child.
Wow. So with a split pool, he did 14.
He did. I'm
Holy bajolies.
rolling extraordinarily well, and when he rouses, he gets quite a few extra dice because of his blood frenzy
Yep.
as well.
Okay. Well, Remy is 3 superficial damage away from torpor.
Yes.
That's where
Let's
he is.
go.
Mael, he sort of he doesn't grab you as well, probably because you're so like forcefully latched onto him. Sort of manages to kind of wrench you just aside and kind of misses when he tries to do this thing. But he gets Remy probably against like another part of your body, like your shoulder or something that's quite hard, and it does an exceeding amount of
Oof.
damage.
Not such a hard hand of justice now, are we?
What would
I'll
you
try
like
to
to do?
vanish after I say that.
Yeah, absolutely. As he sort of lets you both go, you can vanish with a rouse check. Lucretia, what would you like to do?
So Sister Girl is in the throngs of a hunger frenzy.
I'll let
I
you.
think she
Yeah.
skids
wanna spend
along
more
the
power.
ground and probably like hits part of the wall. She puts like her hand up. She gets up onto all fours. She still stands upright.
Yeah.
You can see that she has these like very long like fangs that come down, and then she has a smaller pair just behind them. Bared and forward. She's letting out just a lot of like damsel in distress voices. Lots of just like screaming and shouting and like she's in pain, but she's not. She's just like does her beast know that St. Just is like he's a threat, but she needs blood.
She is going after. That's the type of frenzy. If it was a terror frenzy,
Yeah.
you would be running away, but this is not
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Where
this
is
different.
the nearest source of blood to her right now?
At this point, honestly, it's unfortunately probably Remy.
She loves Remy.
Yeah.
She would love to have some Remy, so she's gonna come in
Slurp.
for him. So she probably is like, and then comes running at Remy.
Great. Make another strength brawl roll. Remy, you see this in the throngs of pain and almost kind of falling on your feet at this point. Lucretia, crazed by hunger in her eyes, coming at you.
Can I do anything about that, or am I meant to just take this?
You can still dominate her if you want to.
Well, that's why I asked if I was able to use a discipline in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to compel Lucretia, and I'm going to say, drink Julien.
I only got like one success on my attack. So I now need to do a what?
Make a wits awareness roll, actually. And
Wits awareness?
for you, Remy, it is I believe, let me just check. Resolve and subterfuge, persuasion, intimidation, I think, something like that.
What am I rolling for?
To catch Lucretia's eye.
Oh.
Yeah, it is resolve intimidation.
If I'm more than happy to be compelled, like to lock eyes with him, because she has
She's going
eyes for
towards
Remy.
him. Yep.
Yeah, she wants to see the look in his eyes.
Okay, in that case, we won't do that. Remy will roll Charisma Dominate, and you'll roll Lucretia Intelligence Resolve.
Intelligence Resolve.
And Mael, you vanish as he sort of lets go of you as he slams yours and Remy's heads together. And as he sort of lets go, you use that split moment to give him that lip, and then poof, vanish into thin air. And he actually he goes like, fucking hell, and
how'd you go, Lulu?
So I had 4 dice, and I need you to know that this is definitely a big story roll because I got 2 1s and 2 10s. So this is either going to be a bestial failure or a messy critical.
I can tell you it's going to be a bestial failure.
Yeah.
Because I rolled 7.
Oh.
Lovely. In that case, Madame Storyteller,
Mm.
can my obsession swap to Remy
Um,
in this compel going
I-
on and his belief?
what about Julienne?
Well, the compel is to feed on Juliet. And
Yes. And this idea has been planted in your head
by Remy.
by Remy.
Like the action and the belief are different. She has locked eyes with him, and his force of will has been enough to get her to act against her best friend.
Mhm.
So that's just my offer on a beast
Yeah,
of failure. It can be something else, but that's
the thing about that is you'll be moving away from Remy to sort of go by his wishes, so it feels a little bit like narratively skewed, but I'll allow it. You go back down into the basement.
she does what she did before with St. Just, where she
Mhm.
doesn't turn and like bolt off.
Yeah.
She walks backwards,
Yep.
facing me,
Mhm.
like eyes still locked as she
Locked on
walks
him.
back towards the stairs. And like as she goes down, she keeps her eyes up as much as she can.
Mhm.
Before
Until
she goes
you
down.
lose sight of him, and perhaps even, dragging Julien up the
Oh
stairs so
yeah.
you can
She
keep.
goes down and pulls him so that Julienne is like at the top of the
Yep.
stairs and she
Mhm.
can still see.
And you can still watch him as you
Yes,
are feeding on her. Because she is in a state that she can't move, she can't do anything. You don't have to make a roll to feed on her
As
this
these me
time.
too. I'm in a
Yeah.
state as well.
We all are at this point, except Mael, who is thriving.
As a cucumber.
Yeah. And you start to feed. Yeah. Mael, what would you like to do?
This was just such a fun little moment where he actually cursed because she vanished.
Mm.
Yeah, the thing is, I think she'll try to attack again, but being unseen right now. Just because, like, mm, because Remy is the only one in there with him, and he'll probably go after Remy. Um, so I'm doubting. I could extinguish his fight day again. Oh.
Always a good choice.
Or you can try to remove a limb, like a leg
Ah.
or an arm. Limp shoulder besties.
Or, a head.
A head too. Yeah. That does the job.
Mm.
Remove his
I would give
jaw.
him disadvantage to try and dodge an attack without me, without being able to see me, right?
Yeah, he can't. He doesn't know where you're coming from. He's like
Yeah.
looking at where you were and looking around and yeah.
Fun thing is Remy can still see me.
Remy can.
Remy is not looking at you, but he is laughing.
I think like just for the sake of the tension, she'll wait like a split second more to leave him like hanging.
Literally.
Until the silence
and
becomes
then
awkward. Yeah.
All you
until the
hear is
silence
the
becomes
suckling
awkward,
noises.
You don't want things to become awkward.
No.
So I will try to lash out with my claws.
Yeah.
I guess try to swipe at his leg.
Nice.
Try to go low, swipe at it. Try to tear it apart, but also try to take him under like that.
Yeah, awesome. Make a strength brawl roll.
Yeah, I will.
Good luck.
And he's going to do a bit of that stuff.
Cool. Julianne will forgive me. I know that she
Talk to her in your head later on. It'll be fine.
do forgive me. She's just
I'll
like,
forgive you. Yeah,
go see
sure.
my kids.
This is fun. I couldn't spend any willpower.
That's okay.
But I got a 13 messy critical.
Oh my god.
Damn.
That's fun. That's quaint.
Mhm.
DPS, DPS.
I'm thinking about how to do the messy critical. You can take
Thank
compulsion, like your clan compulsion, or like perhaps a harm compulsion makes sense as well, although you're already committing acts of harm, so it's a little bit redundant,
yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Your clan compulsion means that it's impossible for you to sort of communicate in more than like sharp one word kind of grunts and words for sentences and things like this for the rest
I
of the
can't
scene.
poke him around anymore.
As the beast comes through. Or as you go for his leg, he will grab onto you and you will deal each other equal damage through.
Hell no. I'll use my
What?
clan bane then. Fuck no. No more quips then, but
You just
ain't
you have
happening. I give
one
him a free
word
shot.
Silent but deadly. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, so she'll just resort to growling and grunting now.
Yeah.
and your clan bane activates too, right?
With Gangle,
Yeah, that
Because when you get a compulsion, the bane activates. It's similar
Isn't
to the
it frenzy?
Malkavians.
I think it's
Is it
frenzy for
frenzy or
gangrels.
compulsion?
I think it's
Yeah.
when you frenzy.
Yeah, I don't think it's not like the Malkavian Bane where they all
Yeah.
happen at once.
Not everyone gets a twofer, you know.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it's only when you frenzy from a gangrel that you have the bane.
Yeah. No, Mael is fully in control of herself. Until this moment, you sort of till this moment, but like not in a frenzying way, in more of a like the beast asks you, Mael, to be like, let me come forth. Let me help you in this. We work better when we work together. You know this, I know this. It's the way we've always done things. Together, we can, free ourselves from these shackles and live how we want to after he is gone forever. And you sort of feel your beast come through you up into your throat, into your mouth, robbing you of the ability to kind of speak in this moment, as it sort of takes center stage in your mind through the way that you move, even becomes a little bit more it, as you kind of create this perfect balanced amalgam of you and it together in this moment. You aren't able to speak, but of course you're still able to act as you desire to. Before anything else happens, Lucretia, you are still drinking. It takes a while, especially from another kindred. It takes even longer than feeding from a mortal.
And I believe Julienne is kind of old, so there's some syrup in those veins.
Sweet, delicious vitae. That is very true. It's quite good. Really fueling your frenzy nicely.
Yeah, we're just having mimosas.
Yeah, having a nice.
This is port.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
It's not from the Champagne region in France. It's
Remy, what would you like to do?
I'd like to heal. Little cheeky heal. That'd be good.
I'd get a rouse check from you.
Yeah, that's a success. We like those. Take me back to just 5 superficial damage.
Yes.
Good, cool.
Heal a bit. Feel those more banal wounds on your body start to stitch themselves up, disappear, things like
Little
this.
Tweety birds going above my head disappear.
Yeah, that's right. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I mean, I know I just used a discipline to make Lucretia leave,
okay.
so I don't know if I'm able to do that again.
Yeah, that's fine. You just won't be able to use one to dodge later on.
Okay, so I
If
can
you
try to
want to.
compel Senjus
You can
again
try.
right now.
You can
I'm
try.
gonna keep trying. This is what I got.
It's free real estate. Yep.
This is the date that brung me. So
Yeah.
I'm not getting out of his grapple.
No.
Okay. So I'm gonna. 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 I'm Am I able to rouse for that as well? Or having rouse to heal, is that too many rouses?
You can only rouse for one thing per turn, so you can't
Yeah, I
rouse
thought so.
again. Yeah. He's
Cool,
getting
cool.
he's looking a lot more unhinged at the point. Like this eye is bleeding. This one is like reddened, bloodshot, fangs out, eyes almost glowing. He's looking
Did
hungry.
he take any damage and the lag? Because you didn't say that from my.
Oh yeah, he took a shitload of damage.
Okay, you didn't say that, so I was like, maybe he didn't take damage. Maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks,
He's
I
not
gotta
looking
remember
good.
this. Okay, Remy is I say where did Mael do that damage on the leg?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's unusable. He's balancing on one almost at this point, using the other as a crutch more than anything else.
Then Remy is going to look at him and then look at the arm that's holding him, and then just say, "Tear off this arm."
How many successes?
We'll see. Probably not enough.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's not great. I'm gonna use a willpower. Now's the time.
I've got 6.
Ooh, I got more of a chance than I thought.
Yeah. I didn't roll that well. And he's not in a position to use any more willpower at this point.
Willpower just got me 7.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, so that's a crit with 7 successes.
Yeah. With his strength, with the disciplines he has active, he just rips off his own arm like it is absolutely nothing, freeing you. Actually, as his concentration breaks on what he is doing as well. And Mael, as he sort of comes back to himself, looks at you, Remy, glares. He will turn around and Mael, he's going to try and bite you, because he is quite hungry at this point.
What? Try to bite the person that was extinguishing his vitae? How unfair.
Yep.
Did he deal damage to himself ripping his arm off?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Idiot.
Why would you rip your own arm off, silly?
Yeah.
What a loser.
I guess you don't believe in justice.
That's the definition. How would you like to react to this? Him trying to bite you?
I would imagine that when Mael, she did a swipe attack on his leg and she was close to the ground.
Yeah.
So when she's like behind him, I imagine she's still crouched on all fours.
Yeah.
Looking up at everything. So if he tries to lunge for her, I guess she would kind of jump. Would she? I'm imagining either she jumps to the side or she does this like forward punch to him.
Ooh, nice. You can try and deal damage back to him if you'd like. Up to you.
I think that's cool. I think if he tries to lunge for me, I'll just like ready myself and then pounce, like hand stretch forward. God killing hand stretch forward. To try to deal damage back to him.
No worries.
I have a little out of character question.
Yeah.
The gangrel compulsion, that's purely like a behavioral one, isn't it? Is there any how does it feel for
if you try to
Mael?
interact with humans, it makes you like appear horribly, kind of bestial and off-kilt to them as well.
Even more so after I have obvious predator.
Yeah, that's right.
But what is it like for Mael? What's this compulsion like?
Oh, Beck just said it, that it basically feels to Mael like she's as much part herself, as much part her beast. So they're acting in sync.
Like
so
a fusion of
so she's even more bestial. She can't like talk. That's why she's like still crouched and stuff like that.
So still like look human, but acting very animalistic.
Yeah,
Okay,
basically looking
cool,
human,
cool.
acting animalistic, and having fangs out, but that's like it.
Nice. Don't. Thank you.
Yeah.
How many
What do
successes
I
do you?
roll, dear storyteller? You
Um,
didn't tell me what to
oh,
roll
sorry.
yet.
I want you to roll strength and brawl.
Yes, I will.
Yeah. This is very much his last ditch effort because if this hits him,
Yeah. I will rouse
Yep,
because I can.
that's what he's gonna do as well.
Yeah.
Just gonna risk hunger frenzy when he rouses also.
These is ice. I mean, yeah. He's right to do so.
Yep. And he is going to succeed, luckily. Only on 4, so it's not too bad.
Do I still have willpower? Yeah, I do.
Godspeed.
Yeah. Yes, one of us still does. Couldn't possibly imagine not having willpower. Right, I have my outcome.
How many successes?
I have 12 with a critical.
Nice. He got 11, so you deal him 3 damage. You beat him by 1, which is just, I think. Pun intended.
So just.
Yeah.
Just.
And he goes to bite you. You almost feel the fangs on your neck, this like the brutal choleric energy that is coming towards you, and you just stick your hands out, claws outreached. And how does it look as you take him down, fell him into torpor at this moment?
So, logically,
Yeah.
he is trying to go for my neck. So I can't reach his head.
No.
But Mael has done something last night that is very similar in the position that they are in right now. So with the hand outstretched, she not being able to aim for the head, she just aims straight for the chest and just pushes through it, pushing out his heart.
And he falls down. Sort of leg hanging limply from his body. An arm completely discarded off to the side via his own hand. At this point, Lucretia, you can slake 2 points of hunger.
Cool. And the compel ends.
And you start to enter dangerous territory. You're only on 3 hunger, so it's difficult for you to stop at this point.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to alone. Remy, you are... Sorry.
Can I spend a willpower to just gain control of myself?
You can spend a willpower to gain control of yourself for a single round. And then you'll enter Hunger Frenzy again.
Perfect. I'm literally Speedy Gonzalez. Yeah, I'm going to spend a willpower to pull her, because the compel ends and she doesn't want to feed off Juliet.
The compel only lasts for a round.
Yeah.
It just focused your Hunger Frenzy for a moment, enough for you to enact upon it. There is an eerie silence across this building now. Viscera, blood, gore splattered everywhere, tainting the white marble, various shades of red.
Where and what is Remy doing? What is he looking at? How is he expressing himself? Because you are currently the focus of my obsession.
Remy is looking at the disembodied arm of Sanjust and then looking at his body. Is Sanjust, is he dead? Torpid? What's his...
Torpid. With...
Remy looks like a
Okay.
wolf next to a carcass. He is
Um,
like eyes wide looking at Senjus' neck.
Yeah,
um,
and if you do that, Mayella's still like crouched on top of him, the heart being skidded across the hallway towards you. She'll kind of like move a bit forward in your way,
Wait, so the heart
almost
is on
like
the ground?
a protective animal.
Oh, if the heart's close
Um,
to Remy, he's gonna pick it up.
yeah.
yeah, so
Um,
the heart, like, I imagine that she pushed it out, it skidded across the hallway towards you, but Mayel will come to stand in front of the body,
Okay.
um,
like stand, crouch.
How
I'll
literal is the
spend
phrase heart blood when it comes to
It's the
these
best bit.
things? That's why Remy is staring at it.
if I can use like my residual fleetness and with the willpower to gain enough control, she will scoop the heart up, bring it up to your face, Remy, and then she will try to do like the straw of
From the
romance
ventricle or
together.
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
just
you're
together
you're
so
gonna
that we can.
You're gonna Eve my Adam.
Yes, I
Yeah.
am.
You giving me that forbidden fruit.
Both of us are going to bite at the same time.
Oh, we're Lady in the Tramping it.
We're Lady in the Tramping, yes. I kind of put it up and grab the back of your head and push it
Does
into
Mael
the heart.
allow this?
Technically speaking, it's just a heart. He
Mm.
won't
No.
Yeah.
He'll be
die
fine.
from this, right? So with a no, not a lot of emotions will be visible on Mayel's face right now.
The beast is
So
still there.
Yeah.
yeah, so there are emotions there, but they're not visible. She will, as they go to do that, take Sinjust by the cravat and by the
Hmm.
like clothes and start to drag him out
Okay.
away from them.
Nice.
So to be clear, if we feed on this heart, we cannot commit diablerie together on it. It's just a heart.
Yes, that's right. It's
Okay.
not the key to diablerie. That's the
Sure.
mind, the soul.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But the
So
symbolism is enough.
sure. Just a little feed then, I
Yeah.
guess. Little juice box.
Yeah.
But her attention is she's always liked you and she's been very pleasant around you, but the way her pupils are dilated, the way that she's looking at you, it is consuming the way that she's looking at you.
And Remy will make eye contact with those widely expanded eyes, knowing very well what's happening here. And then he's going to say, "And so she gave it to me, and I did eat of it." And then just bite in.
Ooh.
Ooh, delicious. This blood is Remy for you. Usually you can discern a lot from just the simplest taste of somebody's vitae blood. They be kindred or kine, whatever. This is devoid of all of that, as though it is not a blank slate, but a slate that once was painted with colors, everything like that, but has been painted over and erased time and time again until it's just a mess of nothing. And you feel the resonances that you've been sort of feeding on, experiencing over the past few nights drain from you as though they've been sucked out of you through this blood that's almost black in how dark it is, viscous, like a diesel or something like this. And it tastes good, but in a strange way, in a way that you don't experience very often. It is a complete lack of resonance at all whatsoever. Lucretia, you experience this too, but for you it manifests in a different way, in that Saint Just has always been this paragon of belief and justice for you, and you expect this, or either choleric or sanguine explosion when you bite into or drain this organ and put it into your mouth. However, your expectations are subverted ridiculously when you get this nothingness, this absence of any passion or feeling or emotion or anything, as you drink this vitae. It's odd. It's at once intriguing, fascinating, purifying, but also confusing, maybe even a little bit disappointing, depending on
Mm.
what your expectations were.
Yeah, definitely. I think she has like in the back of her mind where her consciousness lies that is not currently present. She kind of registers it away as something to think about,
Hmm.
but at the same time, her beast that is so focused on belief, um, if it were not so enraptured by the entity that is belief before him feeding with before her feeding with Remy,
Hmm.
um, she understands that sometimes justice doesn't need emotion, but also the Nephilim parts of her are like, this is
Mm.
bland. This is bland and boring.
Yeah.
So she has a mess of things that sits near Marat in her mind now, and she's just like, well,
Mm-hmm. You can both cross off 2 points of hunger from this because it is so rich and central to the essence of the Canaanite from whom you have just fed. Mael, in the meantime, you drag his torpid, stiff, corpse-like body from the Pantheon outside, I imagine, into these sort of southern streets of Paris, a little bit less populated than the sort of central first district in the center of town where the Place de la Révolution is and stuff like this. Especially at this time of night, there aren't as many people around. People don't like to loiter. As you go outside, you see a mess of what was once, 6 or 7 people meeting in the name of Camille Desmoulins, who are now just nothing, their banner bloody and discarded across the street, neglected and lost with the loss of these people. What would you like to do?
In a very still bestial way, I think Mayel will try to take Saint-Just's body, um, possibly either by the hand or even, like, with her mouth, like, as a big, like,
Mm.
cat would hold, like, a kitten or something, or I don't know, um, hold him like that and try to jump on top of the nearest building
Okay.
or climb on top,
Yeah,
whichever.
no worries. I'm gonna get you to make a strength. Actually, make it stamina athletics to climb or sort of leap and stuff like this.
Yep.
On top of there's quite large, tall buildings in this area. Remy and Lucretia, you share this moment and squeeze every droplet out of it until it is but a husk. And as it loses its last bit of blood, it disintegrates into ash in both of your hands.
Unless there is resistance from Remy, she will go for like a kiss as it disintegrates. Is that okay?
Yeah, Remy will
Mm.
accept that.
Yep. And then she will, after probably a little bit more intense than you were probably expecting, she will pull away. But that attention never leaves. And she seems speechless, which is not quite her. But you've known her long enough that when this compulsion occurs, she often becomes an observer.
Hmm. I suppose we had best attend to Julienne, and I suppose we must find
Why?
out what Mael intends to do.
Is that what you want? What do you want?
I know that it will pain you if Julien does not survive.
No, what do you want? What you believe would be the best course of action.
I see. Well, we need to remove Julien from here. She will not be safe if she does not waken. Can you lift her?
She goes to look, but her eyes never leave, and she just says, possibly.
I will help. So Remy will walk down the stairs towards where Julien's laying down and see if maybe between the two of them they can carry your drunk friend home,
Yeah.
lift her.
I'll get.
She's in torpor, right?
Yeah, now she
Is
is.
she? Are you conscious in torpor?
You can hear. You can see if your eyes are open. You can't talk. You can't move.
So she can hear.
Yes.
Okay. I think as
She
they
would
go
be
to pick.
aware that you have fed on her.
Yeah, that's fine. Goes to pick her up, and she says, "She did come here to mourn. We should give her that at least." And we'll try to lead her down the stairs to Marat. And if Remy obliges, while she still keeps her eyes on you, she really fights herself. Like, it is so clear how deeply she does actually care for Julien. She'll try to sit Julien up in the chair, maybe near Marat's thing. She'll say, I forgot Marat's first name.
Jean-Paul.
Jean-Paul. Monsieur Jean-Paul, your mother is here to say her final goodbyes to you. She cannot say them herself, but she is here. And she is my friend, and I know that she would want to let go of you, but she was very proud of you, I think. And you did many bad things that led to bad happenings, but I think she loved you no matter what. It was your brilliance that she brought into this world, and even now she mourns you. But I hope, even as her voice now, that she can grieve and let go of you, at least not as an anchor to who she is now. And then there's this clear turn, shunt back to facing Remy. She says, "Yeah, like you said, we should go."
Well said. Very well.
Great.
And then I'll go to pick her up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll go.
Cool. I'll get you all both to make
Oh no.
strength athletics rolls. We'll accumulate the successes.
I can use performance if it's athletics.
You can, yes. Strange.
That's good because I got one dice to spin on this roll.
I have one dice too, so thank God for my connection to St. Michael. Thanks, everyone.
As this is happening, Mael, how many successes did you get?
I got a 5 critical.
Great. It's less of a climb in that case and more of leaping from sort of windowsill to windowsill, choosing the ones that don't have lights in the rooms within so you can avoid the eyes of people, and you make your way stealthily, silently through the dark up 4 stories onto the top of a sort of townhouse, onto the sort of flat roof above the torpid body of Louis-Antoine de Saint-Just in your arms, on your back. Lay him out on the ground as you hop up onto the roof.
My intention is not to lay him down on the ground. My intention is to, as I dragged him up there, I really like the visual of it being like by the mouth.
Yeah.
And Maya will start moving from rooftop to rooftop to go to her haven.
Yeah. With a stamina athletics roll of 5 and a critical, it's quick, it's efficient. You don't run out of steam. In fact, the adrenaline of what just happened seems to fuel you, moving faster and without slowing your pace all the way home for you.
I drop down, first looking if there's no one else in the street. But when I drop down, I open the door and I close it behind me, go off the stairs. And before dropping him, I hold him so the dead, torpid body of Caius can see him.
Yeah.
And I like kind of shake him and I say, "Another one to the pile." And I throw him like next to Caius. But
I
Mael
love
will
that.
kind of seem distressed at that moment, and like as the clan base starts to fade, she'll like kind of try to shake it off and
Yeah.
pace the room.
Yeah. And as it is the end of the scene, systematically it does kind of slowly fade. The beast purrs within you, happy and appeased in the way that you have worked so seamlessly together once again. And just for a moment, we'll switch back to Remy and Lucretia. How many successes did the both of you get?
So I had just a bestial failure.
Does this count? Technically, this doesn't count towards talking about and dealing with my obsession. So
No.
3 successes with the -2.
Wait, so you rolled with a -2 and you got 3 successes?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, 3 successes is enough, which counteracts, luckily, Remy's bestial failure.
That's handy. That's handy.
I think she gets like, because it's performance, it's not just like actual strength, it's like the manipulation of weight.
Knowing where these sort of points are of balance and things like that.
So,
Yeah.
real grim dance.
So handsy with you in particular. Like she is trying to just like touch your arm and your back and stuff like that.
Yeah. Clearly Remy's distracted.
My man's like, who wrote this play? This sucks.
Oh no, I know. It's just Titus Andronicus.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
I was very tempted to rip out his tongue. So yeah, where are we going is the question, I guess, if we've got him.
With Julienne.
Shall we take her to your home?
If that's what you think.
I am concerned if Mael does not dispose of San Just fully. He cannot be discovered.
Think that Robespierre's coming back tomorrow. No better display than Saint Just in the guillotine.
I admire the staging. Truly I do. But as long as he is not Ash, he is a threat.
Yes, you're right.
As the two of you move with Julienne back to the Palais Royal, as Mael walks the beast off in her small basement of a haven where the bodies of dangerous Sabbat elders are truly stacking up, we will take this opportunity to have a brief break for a few minutes. Thank you everybody for sticking with us through that spicy scene, and we will be back soon. welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around, and let us continue with the action. Firstly, Maëlle, you drop off the torpid body of Saint-Just in your basement haven, alongside the still taut, actioned, rage-fueled face of your sire Caius. It hasn't moved at all since your altercation beforehand. What do you do from here? You feel the beast settle within you. You feel back within yourself once again.
After a bit of pacing and feeling that the beast settles back, there's this eeriness about it that you know that the Caius and the other one can still hear, they can still see. They're fully aware, they just can't do anything. Um so as I can recompose myself, uh I turn towards the two of them. And I say, look, you see, it's really not that difficult to have an actual revolution that works. Stay here. Maybe I'll add more to the pile. And I'll turn around and I walk outside, um, making sure to close the door again, just seem casual, and then go into an alleyway, climb up the roof, and I am planning to head to the convent of the Cordeliers.
With your previous role, again, it's easy for you to clamber up the sides of the buildings around the Anarch territory and make your way sort of the short distance sort of across the city to where the Cordeliers used to meet before they were forcefully disbanded and disallowed to meet any longer in the city of Paris, in France in general. And on this old sort of medieval, almost decrepit, decaying convent at this point, you, on the roof, get quite the view of the city of Paris, especially these southern sections, these twisting alleyways of workshops and, you know, sort of commercial buildings, factories, and the houses that house the poorer echelons of Parisian society. The hustle and bustle of working life manifests itself here during the day, you know, but now, in the dying hours of the night, it's silent as people aren't around. People are too scared to be out at this time with the way that things are, the tension that is ever building in this city. Which means that it's somewhat easier to notice when people are around. I'm going to get you to make a wits awareness roll for me.
Do I make that as I'm already on the roof of the convent or not?
As you're already there from this vantage
Yeah.
point.
I was going to say that I will activate Eyes of the Beast when I'm
Yeah.
all the way on top of the roof.
Real gargoyle hours.
Yeah, real gargoyle hours. So wits.
Wits and awareness.
Yep.
Is what I'm looking for.
Careful, the Tremere might hear you.
Tremere.
You
very
did say
dare you.
gargoyle. She is a gangrel.
I was thinking of a more
I know.
yeah.
More of an animated gargoyle. I mean,
I have 3 successes.
3 successes. With that, with 3 successes, you don't quite catch a glimpse. It's more out of the corner of your eye. A sort of shadow that moves, flits by the corner of your peripheral vision, for a split second, and then disappears again. But enough so that you notice that there was something there that moved. almost, perhaps as if you're imagining things. You see it, you look properly, and then it's no longer there.
And I try to sniff the air and
Hmm.
smell if I can catch the scent of whoever was there.
Interesting. Make a I guess it'll be a wits and survival roll for that, as it's like a tracking type of thing.
It's way too early for you to be describing flitting shadows.
It's fine.
I will rouse.
Yeah.
So I will just because I want a little extra dice on this.
Mm.
I succeed, so I'm still at 1 hunger.
Yeah.
Um
You are really just vibing.
I'm vibing with my beast right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the pool. 4 successes.
Ooh, nice. With 4 successes, you catch the scent not of like a body, not of a person, but of rusted steel that shouldn't be in a place like this. Convent, everything's sort of made of stone, more kind of rustic elements and things like that. But steel that is rusted, as this thing flits by your peripheral vision, a gust of wind sort of comes your way from where they were, and you catch this whiff of steel, like old sort of decaying metal that passes through.
That's very weird.
Hmm.
And I don't think it's supposed to say anything to Maya, like I don't suppose that it should be like a ping light moment. Um,
No.
as it doesn't say anything like ringing any bells for me.
No, probably not.
So I'll try to shake that off. It's not like I could technically try to follow the smell of rusted metal. But it's very difficult. So I don't think I would do that. I'll shake it off and just continue sitting there,
Okay.
watching to see if anyone comes to visit.
Yeah, certainly. While you're doing that, we shift our attention over briefly to the Palais Royal. The two of you enter the gates holding a torpid Julien in both of your arms. It looks like Lucretia perhaps is doing most of the heavy lifting in this situation.
Certainly doesn't
Nonetheless.
look like it.
No, making it look like Remy is doing most of it, I would say. Where would you like to leave her? Put her?
There's an immediate activation of Daunt to ensure that no one sees them or looks their way. But as she gets closer, there's probably not like personal guards, but the guards around that she trusts. There's probably like an uncharacteristic for Remy to hear like whistle and like a summon to be like, grab her. And then she picks herself up again. You could see that her pupils have come back to like a normal amount.
Yeah.
And with Dawn active, we'll still sidle up beside Remy and move through the Palais Royal to Julienne's room. There would be a room set aside for her, regardless. Into that certainly just an empty room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put her down with like a talking to Julienne, knowing that the room is probably not empty. You're like, you have had quite the rough night tonight. Rest up and I will see you soon.
Yeah.
Then she will turn around, whisk Remy up again, and head to her own room.
Very well. The two of you, like, Lucretia, you have heard members that are probably part of the security here and such, and they grab them, Julienne, and move with you to her chambers, and you and Remy then head off to your own. Now, these chambers are probably a lot more overtly opulent.
Oh, almost excessively so.
Yes, of course.
It is the very core of Lucretia that she peeks out in her dress and stuff. It is the most expensive stuff that could fund Paris if she wanted to. But she goes in, she goes to a large, like, wardrobe. She
Dominique
opens
is
it.
sitting on the desk as the two of you enter. He looks up and smiles at the both of you, doesn't say anything, and then goes back to writing at the desk that he is at.
She like runs her. Oh no, she's not gonna touch him because she's gross at the moment. She will bring you into the bathroom, Remy, and just be this offer of like, um, she just like strips down and washes herself off, very comfortable in herself. Um, and at one point, we'll show you a wardrobe of clothes that are probably your size. They're not even Dominique's; they just happen to be men's clothes.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, Remy will avail himself of those amenities, clean up. I'm assuming like probably a whole side of his shoulder for all of his clothes is just like ripped away from where he was grabbed, and then he's got the horrible head wound from getting cracked on a mile shoulder-shaped dent
Yeah,
on the
that's
side
right.
of his head. So I think he'll outfit himself in a manner that's, I'm sure, even the like
The
closest
drudgery of
thing.
this wardrobe is like something that you would have to spend years trying to afford.
Yeah, and I think he would like try to pick something that wouldn't get him guillotined on sight. But I
Yeah.
imagine that like the least chic looking stuff in here is still pretty slick.
Absolutely.
So he might go for like, even if it's super high quality, something that's a little less standouty, unless you have something in purple, in which case he won't resist.
Oh, there's like it's all kinds of colors. I think actually for a fun little like flavor thing. Also, when she like gets undressed, she has no wounds on her.
Yeah.
It would have healed from that. She gets this really lovely embroidered deep like purple waistcoat. She turns it inside out so that it's more plain
Huh.
and buttons it up from the inside. And she says, there are particular skills in concealing one's position.
I suppose now I shall wear my heart in my sleeve.
She avoids your arm and she says, there's certainly room for it.
Yes. That's going to be amending. I mean,
She does her hair. Well, if you talk about anything, she's applying more rouge again.
we need to find Mael.
Almost definitely. As you said before, unless that man is Ash, he is a threat.
Indeed. I must also express some concern for my pack and all those known to associate with me, since Senju seems to have intelligence.
Yes, I had noted that. But I believe it is a solution that will solve itself once we deal with the problem tomorrow.
Yes, my concern was that perhaps he had already made moves or coming to us.
I believe the man that he came to strike the head before striking any further.
He certainly didn't choose to rub my nose in anything. Besides my own temporary inadequacy, of course.
No, not at all. You did very well, considering the circumstances of which you were placed.
Well, thank you. I like to think I'm more of an Act 3 man than a prologue, but we all can dream.
Any play that you are in, Noemi, is a good one. But looking after your pack is certainly important to you. So, put your mind at ease so that we might tackle Robespierre tomorrow properly. We can take a quick detour. I need to speak with Francine to find out where Maëlle resides.
You think she would know?
I think she would have an idea. And I can always smell her out.
It is as you say. Not totally myself, I'm afraid.
Oh,
And then Remy will pick up his
ah,
hat and just like show the
yeah.
horrific gaping wound in his skull. Just sort of
Well,
gingerly place the hat at an angle so
I
that it covers
feel
it.
like you have so often shown your mind to me that it seems so in character.
Yes, well, sometimes the figure becomes the letter, doesn't it?
Um, yeah, she'll get up from doing her makeup and stuff. Give Dominique like kiss on each cheek. Um, I will be out and I will see you soon, my love. Then she will
Be
gather.
safe.
I might
Yeah.
just cheekily walking behind Dominique cast an eye down at those papers, whatever he's writing. I'm just curious.
Can this is also a fun thing. If I notice, can I pull your chin? If
Mine.
yeah, like as you
Uh-huh.
go to look like a pullback of like we'd best be moving.
um, you can try. I'll
Yeah,
get, I'll get a It'll be dexterity plus insight for you, Lucretia.
got it.
And for you, Remy, to do it subtly, I think it'll be manipulation and stealth.
Feast and famine there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
So you said dexterity, insight.
Insight, yeah.
Just my specialty in design and supply.
Um,
The man loves
probably.
knowing stuff.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
My intricate knowledge of Remy
Yeah.
alone. Oh my fucking god.
It's all of 3 successes for Remy.
I got 9 with a crit.
9.
Okay.
I
Real
think
battle of strengths here.
she does I rolled surprisingly well, but I think she does this like cupping of the face that's like, it doesn't seem like any wounds have affected your lovely mask, however. And then leads you out of the room.
Remy just adopts the attitude of like the friend who realizes he's drunk and getting led out of the party.
Yeah.
She's like, all right.
Fine.
I'll
You're
stop
no
fighting.
As you both make the way across to the Anarch territory to find Francine.
Almost like the Corday's Club is on the way.
Yes, it is indeed. To the textile shop where Francine makes her small base of operations, to which you have actually been at this point as well. I'm going to get you both to make me a lovely wits awareness as you pass by the Cordelier's Club.
Might I add my Auspex?
You may.
I was gonna say the same thing because when we're out in public, it is red alert.
Sense the Unseen,
Mhm.
add your Auspex as well. Why not?
Yeah, I'm looking for lurkers.
Yeah. You'll both see different things with heightened senses / sense the unseen.
So am I doing wits auspex or is it wits awareness and auspex? What's
It'll be wits auspex for you, Remy. I'll say you can add 2 dice to this roll as well, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got 4 successes.
Great. Is Maëlle trying to conceal herself, or is she just vibing up there?
She's just vibing up there.
Okay.
She's not trying to conceal herself.
Yeah.
It's 7 successes for me.
Oh, lovely. Amazing. Lucretia, with your heightened senses, you probably smell the blood within Maëlle, the particular flavor of her beast. And
I know what she smells like.
And 2 red beacon-like eyes that seem to shine down on you from above, as you probably, the both of you, lock eyes at the same time. Yeah, so you see her up there in the darkness, sitting there on the roof of the Cordeliers, where you met again the other night.
Does Remy?
At the same time, Remy, with 7 successes on this wits or specs roll, just
Ayel also didn't clean up, so like Saint-Just's
Yeah.
blood is still on our clothes and on our
She's
hands.
that would be a particular.
stanky.
No, she smells delicious. I don't know what you mean. You see, just on the outside of Cordelia's club, sort of along the barricade, is somebody dressed in National Guard uniform, but obfuscated. Now, you would recognize this person from the records that Lucretia stole from the museum the other night as Monsieur Jacques-Nicolas Billaud-Varenne, he carries a bayonet, and you notice that the blade on the end of it is slightly rusted, as though it's old and misused over time. And he looks at the both of you approaching and locks eyes with you as you notice him as well, leaning
There's
against the fortress wall of the convent.
Lucretia wouldn't like stop and be like, "Found there." She's gonna just keep walking alongside with like a look up, and then we'll keep. She'll slow her pace. Be like, "Seems Maëlle has found us before we found her."
Maëlle is not the only one who has found us.
Oh,
We have the pleasure of the company of Monsieur Billaud-Varenne.
He makes
Oh.
himself visible as you say his name.
The devil always does.
Give a curtsy.
Ayel's
What do you
jaw
mean?
drops for a second. All the way from up here.
I hear it.
Bonsoir, friends.
Bonsoir.
I don't mean to intrude, but I've been looking for you for a night or so.
So sorry to interrupt. What's his face look like?
Ah, good question. He is probably an older gentleman of probably looks to be about 40 or 40 to 50, kind of middle-aged, I would say. Dark hair, dark features, quite stocky as well, like heavy set kind of. Chiseled, as though the life that he lived before he was embraced was one of hardship. He's got that sort of peasant's weathered face about him, quite tanned as well, from a life outdoors in the sunshine before his embrace. And aside from that, he just wears this sort of basic blue uniform of the National Guard. Fits him well, as though it's been custom fitted for him, even. Looks sharp. Yeah.
Lovely. What do we owe the pleasure?
Perhaps it's better if we talk inside.
Perhaps. She'll give like a gesture towards the club, and then we'll lock eyes with Maëlle.
Very well then.
He
After
leads
you.
the way inside the club. Glances up towards Maëlle, acknowledging the fact that you are there, but doesn't say anything, and leads inside the club.
I think Maya will still keep the eyes of the beast active. She will drop down from the roof, landing in like a crouch, but landing in front of Billaud-Varenne and staying just a second on the ground. So like a bit longer than you usually would. Stays on the ground. And then lifts herself, deactivating eyes of the beast so that they don't glow in anyone's eyes anymore. and say, "You finally make yourself known."
After what you did at the Fouillon, how could I not?
She'll step aside to let him, like, walk further.
He leads you in, and as you enter,
And wordlessly turns away from the other two to follow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As you enter, you see the same abandoned lectern in the center of the building with the sort of, I guess, what were probably like nuns' pews that sort of lead up in a kind of stadium fashion up on the sides of the walls with those gripping hand marks, claw marks, scratch marks of people that have sat here impassioned, listening and reacting and getting rowdy basically to the speeches that were made recently in this building until all of the things that happened here were shut down immediately and forcefully. Bilal Varenne does not go to the lectern. Instead, he stands beside it, leaning against the sort of oak wood paneling, looking very at ease, fluid in his movements, as though he almost steps above the ground, but
In an uncomfortable sense, Lucretia does go to the lectern. She can't help herself. She goes there and she places her hands where the hands are. This place is a fascination to her,
yeah.
but she turns her head, lets her hair fall a little bit as she looks at Bilal Varenne.
What you did at the Fouillon was bold, to say the least, brave, and needed. Ever since I returned back from the Vendée, things have become steadily worse here. And I know that I myself am not enough to put an end to it, but you, looks over to you, Mael, you mobilized thousands. Thousands. How?
So you're planning to join the fight?
Of course. I need to. I can't see the city dig its own grave like it has. I need a place to worship the Father I want to worship without muddying the waters with some doctrine that one man has built up, claiming to be some kind of false prophet for humanity. It is disintegrating our city, our country, our land. The land we have an obligation to protect.
What do you bring to the table, Monsieur?
I don't care about that. If he wants to join the fight, then he joins. He doesn't need to offer us anything, Lucretia.
I need to know his capabilities to
I
use them
think
effectively.
the files you read about Monsieur already told you his capabilities. The
They
fact
are.
that you want him to explain himself again is, well,
I have been waiting in captivation to meet Monsieur. I would like to hear him speak more.
so
If
then ask about his experience and not ask him what he can bring to the table.
know his experiences. I want to know what he can do now.
You're Remy.
You are muted.
You're muted.
I must beg your pardon, citoyen Bilal Veren. We have had a very interesting evening.
He looks at Mael. I can see that. Things are as they are, and we all are having many of those of late. Is all well?
Well, no.
Things couldn't be going better. We just took out some Sabbat that were still in our way. We have all the people riled up.
Indeed.
And we're leading the revolution. The true revolution.
What is the true revolution?
Getting back the freedom from this dictatorship and getting back Paris for the people who want to find their own freedom, not to be taught by someone else.
That is refreshing to hear. Then, if you wish for me to, Madame, expound upon my uses for this cause, I have deep connections in the National Guard, in the convention, even. People who see me as friends, allies, people who would sooner follow orders that I give them than reap the consequences of otherwise. Aside from that, I also know a thing or two about the more ritualistic aspects of the blood. If that may come in handy.
Mael skulls a bit at the word blood.
Remy, on the other hand, is smiling broadly.
Is this adequate enough for you?
That is quite helpful, yes. Thank you very much for your cooperation. I'm sure you are aware that Robespierre will be arriving tomorrow night.
Of course, he plans to give a speech, a list of names of enemies of the revolution.
How might your connections get us closer to him?
That night, I can give you a seat in the spectator booth in the convention if you so desire, though he will be surrounded by 600 odd of his allies, as is the convention's way.
Spectacle must be made. I am just unsure how, or where, or when.
Well, Robespierre has been gone from public life for 6 weeks, perhaps even a little more, and he is planning to return tomorrow. Even if his return, his grand re-entrance into his virtuous society, even if that's not the best time to strike him, it will be easier to follow him, keep tabs on him, know where he goes after this spectacle. You can make as much of a spectacle of it as you like.
Yes.
If you wish to be symbolic, be symbolic. If you wish to be pragmatic, be pragmatic.
Beck, is it clear from his National Guard uniform if he has a particular rank or had a particular rank?
Oh,
Or is that even a thing?
We're all divine beings. None of us have ranks.
Yeah, I don't know if it is.
that's a good question.
Trying to figure out if I could greet him using the right honorific.
Yeah, for
But
sure. Make an intelligence politics roll, I'm going to say.
sure, checks out.
Hmm.
That's only one success.
One success.
Hmm.
Give me a brief moment because I'm going to look this up because I
Cool.
don't know.
Yeah.
I want to be historically accurate here.
Oh, sure.
In that
Sorry to
case,
put you on the
how's
spot.
Remy feeling?
Remy has got a gleam in his eye that looks like an idea.
Nice.
Like, what retake can we use?
No.
No.
Much simpler.
I had an idea that I was like, just get the National Guard to fire on him during his speech.
He is a captain.
Captain, if I may, how much gunpowder do you have readily accessible to you?
Enough to crush the Prussian force.
Sounds like it's ample to destroy a building where 600 of Robespierre's closest allies are gathered. While they are gathered.
It is certainly an option, and certainly a spectacle. Getting it here in one night would be the kicker.
I see. So it is far removed.
Across France. Here in Paris, there is quite a bit, but a building as vast as the Tuileries, it would have to be very particularly placed. Putting it there is the dangerous part.
I see.
Where will
Well-
he be speaking in the Tuileries? Perhaps a single room instead of the building.
In the room, the National Convention Room, yes. The Grand Hall.
A smaller space.
Indeed.
I like your idea, Remy.
We are also not without our own allies who can contribute to whatever efforts may be required.
I was going to say that every single one of the names on that list will be there.
Present company included.
Are you willing to sacrifice the enemies of Robespierre's revolution, the ones that he will read out the names of, for this?
Of course.
Will they all be there pinned, arrested? Is that the scene?
That is my expectation.
I see. That is rather different.
No, we don't wait until he calls out that list and lets everyone get to the guillotine.
An interception. Do we know where he is coming from?
I do not.
Tonight. How does he often enter the Tuileries?
Through the front door, though I don't know if he will be this time, given the events of the past few nights.
That information would be most helpful to know where he will be before this presentation.
He has been quite secretive about his whereabouts over the past weeks. There are many hotels, apartment buildings around the Tuileries wherein he could be.
Simple, isn't it? He's gonna bring our allies right into his room. We just make sure that we also get in with as many as possible. Some disguised as his allies, some unseen. We get in, we stop him from doing the guillotine stuff. We don't explode the room because a lot of our allies will also be in there.
I
We
was not
take him
aware
out
he would
in
have
the
them
room.
captive.
I don't see the need to know where he will be before that or after that.
It is a difficult option, but one that will send a gloriously strong message.
We've
That is
had
what we
lots
want.
of difficult situations the past few nights.
Mm.
We took out elders. If we cannot make this work with the allies and the manpower that we have right now, with the influences that we have right now, I don't think it really matters if we go for the direct or the indirect route.
As I said, I am here to facilitate your plan and get in contact with any of your allies. Make sure they are ready for your plan so you may hash it out, tease it out, perfect it yourselves. I am happy to play messenger. I can traverse the city in not so much time at all.
And as a
Is-
captain, you can be in that room.
I can, and I will, regardless of what happens. I have an obligation to be in that room.
His location would be most helpful. Where he is residing.
As I said, I don't know. The best way to find out where would be to follow him back after the speech, but it sounds as though you want to strike him.
If it could be
Before.
preemptive, that would be good. Having the names out in the public would not be good.
Then I suppose we shall have to give the signal before the reading.
Indeed, if he cannot even make it to the Tuileries.
Oh. Oh, I meant in Mael's plan. The stage
Oh.
is set. The king cometh. Well,
Hmm.
you know the rest.
And if he flees, then we can seek him afterwards.
I have a feeling fleeing will become considerably difficult if things go as I expect they will.
I would agree.
Shadows grow thick in the darkest of nights.
That may be your best use then. Perhaps, Monsieur,
Yes,
the gathering of your sect.
of course. I have quite a sway with both the members of the guard and the members of our sect. I am
Having the
happy
guard fire upon Robespierre mid-speech certainly sends a message.
quite a strong
am-
one.
I'm not so sure Robespierre will try to flee.
What do you think he will do?
He has been gone for 6 weeks.
Yes,
All he has done is flee.
yes, I know. This is the culmination of his desires. It's the jewel in his crown, the final step on his ladder.
It's
I don't imagine him being in great haste to give it up. Remember that the gesture we send, it is equally powerful if it goes the other way.
very much so.
There is a table there in the middle of the room, right?
There is.
Yeah. Mael will quickly become agitated and jump on top of the table to get everyone's attention.
Very Cordelia's club of you. Yeah.
Take a few steps, turn around, spread her hands and then say, "Okay, so we agree. We attack him in the room. He comes in, he begins to make his little speech. We attack him."
Agreed.
We wish to go over the details of how to get everyone there without being killed.
Half of them may already be there as prisoners, as far as we know.
So our forces are halved.
No, they're in there. We don't have to get them in, is what I'm saying.
Mm,
Having your great influence over those who took the Bastion as a secondary resource, a stopgap, a second wave, if you will, might also be desirable.
Yes. As I said, some will listen, but Robespierre has loyal soldiers himself as well. It won't be easy, but you mobilized thousands.
It is a
Onryo
risk.
also had loyal soldiers.
Indeed, not anymore. Now they are but strays. Some of them to you, some of them to Maximilian. It is as it is.
If there are prisoners to be had, it may be beneficial to use Julien's family to get people inside to free them when the time is right.
Julien, the Nosferatu of the Camarilla, yes.
The Herald, yes.
Right, the whatever it is you call it.
Herald.
Okay. If she has sway with her clan, then yes.
We have them secured. Their support.
Wonderful. That is no small feat either, and it will be of great help.
Mhm.
Some of them may even know more about Robespierre's location.
We do have some military force still left under the guidance of Dorian, I imagine.
Yes, that is true. The old military.
Yes.
Very well trained, however. More
I am aware.
thoroughly trained than a lot of the guard themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Tradition is both a burden and a blessing in some ways, but
Oh, you are preaching to the choir, I'm sure.
I'm glad to hear that. It seems as though we're on the same page in more ways than one.
Of course.
In that case, allow me to be of assistance in speaking to my allies, speaking to yours, getting them to understand the plan, the positions they must be in, and facilitating the logistics of this.
Amongst any of those rituals you mentioned, do any come to mind would be of particular assistance? I know little of them.
Most of them take time, but there are a few that I could make use of for the purposes of this. There is one in particular. Do any of you favor swords, melee weapons, knives, things of
Yes.
this nature?
I do.
What specifically?
She pulls out her fan, flicks it open, shows the blades.
Would it hurt you too greatly to part with that for just one night?
She looks it over. No, I will be able to piece one together as a replacement.
I will give it back before
Of
meeting.
course. She'll snap it shut and hand it.
Mm. When you get it back, you'll find that it sinks a lot deeper.
Ah, that will be most helpful.
Aside from that, I know the most regarding Voldery, the specific blood rituals that bind the packs of our sect together.
So you are aware that Robespierre is in a Voldery with
Saint
his
Just Couton
lieutenants.
and, until recently, I hear, Francois Henriot.
Ah. Is there a way to break it? Outside of simply killing?
There is. Need a sample of blood from all of the parties. I have some of Robespierre's. I have some
Oh,
of Saint Just's. I even have some of Henriot's, so that won't be useful anymore. I don't, however, have any from Georges Couton. He is a lot more covetous about these kinds of things.
How did you
The-
come by a sample of Robespierre's?
A particularly intimate blood feast it was. Number of
see.
years ago now, but still as good as ever.
I'm sure it harbors many interesting tales.
I have not thought on it for quite some time, but I do like to delve into the memory every now and again.
A fellow connoisseur.
Oh, we would need Couton's blood to break the Voldrin by
Tis
that
right.
point. There is not much need for that separation, would there?
Likely not, especially if you are planning on severing Robespierre's head from his shoulders or something of that nature tomorrow.
Yes, my thoughts. Well, seems we have a plan.
Yes. Thank you for working for freedom from tyranny. It has been, I have seen some truly horrible things, both here and outside of the city. Some things that go against every fiber of what it is in which we believe. I wish to restore a place where the faith of my sect can exist in the form it is supposed to.
With that, we are entirely in agreement.
And he, at this point, bows to all of you, only slightly. It's not a deep aristocratic bow by any means, and says, everybody will be in place tomorrow evening. I will see you in the Tuileries.
Adieu.
With kind of getting back to attention, Maya will jump off the table, and as he maybe starts to leave, kind of go past him and turn to him, like a bit further away, and say, Monsieur Varenne,
Yes.
can you, I know this may sound out of the context. But can you break these supposed blood ties outside of a Voldery as well?
Can I break blood bonds? I
Yes, yes.
can. It is, however, an excruciatingly painful process for both parties.
Hypothetically speaking, could you do that with the other party being in torpor?
I could. All I need,
Good.
similar to the Voldery, is a sample of blood from each party.
If you would consider it, I would be in your debt if you were to help me out in such a way.
As far as I see it, Mademoiselle Cadieu, I owe you a favor for what you did previous evening at the Fouillon.
Nobody owes me anything for what happened there. I only did what was right. I fought for freedom.
Maybe so, but your actions have, by extension, liberated me. So, after this is done, I will come to you and we will break whatever blood bond it is that you need broken. And perhaps then, through this, I can at least more actively show my appreciation for what you've done. My honest and deep appreciation.
I'll give a little bow of the head, and take a step aside. Like, I appreciate it.
And he goes. Lucretia, for you, he moves at a normal speed. For Mael, for Remy, it is as though he just disappears. And the three of you are left alone once more in the place where it all began.
I think there's a raised eyebrows at Mael at what has just been mentioned. It's like unexpected, what was that? But she doesn't actually say anything. It's just like a
I
Maya
half
will
expect a very
raise.
peculiar mortal woman to turn around the corner at any moment.
Maya will raise her eyebrows back and kind of gesture like, so anything else you two want to discuss?
Yes, in fact, for all of our well-being, I should like to know that Saint-Just has been rendered into ash and dust.
No, he hasn't. Simple. Anything else you want to discuss?
no.
I would like that to change, Mael.
I'm not gonna turn him to dust right now. Let that happen tomorrow night
Can I ask
during everything.
why?
Well, first of all, I saw your twinkling eyes looking in his direction back there. I wasn't planning on letting you slurp up another soul.
Well then,
So I
just to
took him
kill him.
away, and then, yeah, I'm talking, Remy. And I took him away, and I thought, well, instead of killing him right now, here and there, might as well show his head to Robespierre and rip it from its carcass in front of him. Might be a good show, no? He's safe. No one's gonna take his body right now. I somehow took some experience in keeping elder bodies safe while they're in torpor for a little while, so you can trust me on that. I take
Oh,
him there tomorrow and then
Very well. I am relieved to hear you found that solution. Just understand my anxiety about Saint Just is that as long as it is possible for him to be revived, it is a risk. But I do admire the spectacle. You know me.
is your
Have I?
sire okay?
what does my sire have anything to do with this?
Well, I know the look in your eye. I've seen it myself in the mirror when I was younger.
My sire is perfectly fine.
In torpor,
He's perfectly fine.
would you like to talk about it, Maya?
I don't feel a need to talk about it to you, Lucretia, because quite honestly, in a way, you scare me.
Oh, why is that?
Not physically, of course. I could take you on.
Oh, of course. Most definitely, you are very strong.
But you've never seen your eyes when they glaze over and become obsessed.
No, I have not.
I don't trust those eyes.
They are the eyes of the beast.
Different eyes of the beast. Ones I'm not used to. Ones I don't
No.
like to get near.
Well, they are not glazed over now, are they?
Doesn't
Really?
change anything.
It can be an ear, a shoulder, if you need.
I believe we have seen the impact of shoulders this night, and Remy will just tip his hat stickily,
Ew.
gingerly put it back.
I don't need your ear.
I know, but I'm offering it nonetheless.
Yes, and perhaps you're best off keeping offering it to Remy. Because you seem to enjoy that.
Oh,
You seem to enjoy that. And
Remy
whatever
has
it is the two of you do, you can keep doing it.
Remy never uses my ear. I use his consistently and always. I'm on his arm and shoulder at all times.
I know you can't be swatted away from him.
Yes, he is my friend, just as you are.
I don't know if you can see this clearly through whatever haze you have, but whatever it is between the two of you, it's destructive. And I don't want a part of it.
You need not be in
So
our
you can go
relationship.
back to sucking hearts together.
Maya, I believe I have offended you. I'm just attempting to ascertain which level that offense is
For
deepest.
one so in control and inside of emotions, you think you offended me and that's why I'm reacting this way?
Yes,
Sometimes you do not tell
I
us
don't!
why.
I said it! I'm terrified of the both of you. What's there not to get? You two are destructive.
To what?
To each other and to whoever gets involved in that.
Indulgent, certainly. I don't know about destructive.
You push each other's buttons in the way that the other one likes it. And you keep pushing those buttons, pushing those desires. The same fucking ones. You would kill for Remy. You would give a heart, a soul, a body on a platter just so it could please him.
My actions while at the behest of the beast does not define who
It's
I
not
am.
only the beast only strengthens things that are there, Lucretia. I just don't go out hunting and killing the way I do because only my beast tells me to. There's a part of me that also wants to do that.
Are you scared of it?
Of my beast, no.
Then why are you scared of mine?
Because it's a different kind of destruction.
Right. So when I do try to create instead of destroy with you, why deny it? Our relationship, if you would accept it, would be different to the one that Remy and I have.
Lucretia, if I may,
It's not just me accepting a relationship. Mind you, that goes both ways and stuff. And some people don't just match up. Simple. But you don't get to throw whatever it is we have between us on my shoulders and say that it's because
Mm.
I don't accept it.
If I had insinuated as such, I did not mean so.
Lucretia, we need to accept her fear.
Oh, I do.
No, no. I mean, accept and agree that it is appropriate to feel it. Lucretia, you are terrifying.
What? Me?
And
How?
I am not afraid of you in the same way.
Or not?
But you have to acknowledge it, that it is real. You are fearsome. And I am
Thank you.
not going to lie to Mael and say that I am not.
No. But you are also scary, Mayel. We can all be scary.
It's not what Mael means, not that I can claim to speak for her.
Just don't fear, yes, I understand. We are all fearsome. But it is not new information, which is why I am so confused. We were together for years and did this behavior. And then I just don't know what has changed.
It's because you, Lucretia, even though you call me Mael, somewhere inside of you, you still see me as Sophie. It isn't that way anymore.
Perhaps you are right. I apologize. I guess it takes me longer to acclimatize than I might have thought. I was quite close with Sophie. I guess I am still grieving her loss.
Seems like you grieve the losses of many.
I do.
Personally, Mael, I'm rather flattered. We can both figure out what that means later, I suppose. But thank you, in any case, for saving my life. That is what you did.
Let's just say that we're even now.
There.
I'll see the both of you tomorrow night. look sharp. We're gonna kill Robespierre. And I turn around and I start leaving.
Look after yourself, mademoiselle.
You all end up going your separate ways for this evening. Remy back to the theatre, Lucretia to the Palais, and Maëlle to an increasingly crowded basement for the day. And as the three of you fall into a day's sleep that deserves to be more restless than it is, given the events that will transpire tomorrow night, we'll pause the story here and pick it back up the beginning of a new night next session. Thank you all for coming and spending some time with us while we played this remarkable game with these remarkable people. Super duper excited to get to the crux of this next time. I'm Beck. I've been your storyteller for this session, this chronicle, and before we leave off, let's have our lovely players introduce themselves to you all once more. Let us know who you are, what you're doing, where we can find you.
I am Adam. I have been playing Remy, your scary Sabat Malkavian. You can find the D&D stream that I help run. It's called Bardic Inspiration at the contact info below. Thanks.
I am Jack. I've been playing Mademoiselle la Comtesse de Visage, the terrifying Camarilla Toreador.
And hi, I'm Syrinx. I've been playing Maëlle Cadieux, the city gangrel anarch of the group, who is very loudmouthed and very aggressive this session. Maybe every session, who knows. You can find me at Syrinx on Twitter and Instagram as such.
Again, thank you everybody so much for joining us. Can't wait to see you all again next time for the thrilling third act of this lovely play, I suppose. Have a lovely evening, everybody, and take care.